In MLS news, the San Jose Earthquakes have this week appointed Argentinian Matias Almeida as their coach for 2019. But to immediate matters on the pitch, the race for the playoffs intensified in another dramatic round of fixtures. And we begin our roundup with an all-Canadian affair.
Even with time running out for Toronto and Vancouver, belief still remain for both.
It's 4 goals for Toronto FC as they will keep their fate playoff hopes alive.
Mosquito, he's not afraid to try one! And that might be 3 points for Vancouver.
A loss, though, would be fatal for TFC, and it was a must-win for the Whitecaps as well. Commentary comes from Matt Jackson and Kevin Keatings.
Russell Tybert. Davis. Tybert. Oh, he scored! Excellent start from the Whitecaps. First goal of the season for Russell Tybert.
That's the no-look pass that puts him in. That's a really good finish.
It's a late one from Van der Wiel. Could well be a card. Referee reaching for one for the Dutchman.
It's been good so far, Rain. I've been impressed with him. He just suckers him into this, trying to take him out.
Jovinko. Bradley! Excellent save from Marinovic.
It's a lovely setup, weight, pass perfect. Not easy, that skill, striking across the ball.
Osorio. Vasquez. And now Auro. Wonderful opportunity for the Brazilian. Vasquez on the support shot. And Nowinski, the deflection off him, sends it away for a corner kick. But how many touches did this player want?
Great opportunity for Auro. That one, OK, you're not going to hit that, but you've got to hit the second one because you're always going to have players coming back to you.
Reina. And whoa, that was mightily close to being a penalty. Remember, on the line would be a spot kick, and it's millimetres outside. Oh, a second yellow card, though, for Gregory Van der Wiel, and he's walking the Dutchman.
Once you give away the first yellow, puts you under so much pressure. He leaves the leg slightly dangling. Might argue that he's got nowhere really to go.
Here's Jovinko. Chapman free to his right. This is Jay Chapman. Oh, there's a handball there. Referee gives the penalty. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
No, it's an unnatural position for the hands to be. You just can't raise them in the air. You're asking for trouble.
Altidore against Marinovic. It's a perfect penalty.
Yeah, really cool, composed. Once a goalkeeper's moving that quickly, an easy finish.
Now, opportunity for the Whitecaps, a little short in the left-back area. TFC, and there is Kamara! Oh, right on cue, you would say. Kai Kamara puts the Vancouver Whitecaps back in front. It's one he simply couldn't miss. Toronto FC 1, Vancouver Whitecaps 2.
I thought we deserved it. We built on the performance from last week. We corrected a few things that we knew we could do better, and we executed.
With the Caps creeping closer to the top 6 in the West, the pressure was on Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Dominic Kinnear as the LA Galaxy travelled to Sporting Kansas City. The Californian club had been awarded 3 penalties in their previous 2 fixtures. They earned another when Ola Kamara was brought down by Tim Melia. The slightest of touches felling the Norwegian. Ibrahimovic coolly converted his 21st goal of the season and 4th from 4 attempts from the spot this term. Johnny Russell's impressive stateside form has seen him retain his place in the latest Scotland squad. A typical mazy run and subsequent shot nearly saw him snap a scoring drought that started in August. Ashley Cole is enjoying his best campaign in terms of attacking play since he signed for the Galaxy 3 years ago. He really should have added a second goal to his seasonal stats to go with his 8 assists, but found Melia in acrobatically good form. Fellow defender Daniel Steres then thought he'd netted his first goal of the term when he nodded home after Melia had denied Dave Romney. However, the effort was correctly ruled out for offside after video review. Peter Vermees's side hadn't failed to score at home since late May and woke up in the second half, Diego Rubio seeing his header tipped onto both bar and post by Melia, before a mad scramble led to Russell teeing up the Chilean again, but his volley flashed wide. SKC and Russell in particular weren't to be denied. With a drop of the shoulder, the Scot danced through the Galaxy defence, beating 4 players before curling home a quite brilliant leveller. 1 point for the hosts nearly turned into all 3 when Graham Zusi cut inside before aiming for the bottom corner. David Bingham was beaten, but the woodwork came to the Galaxy's rescue as they earned a share of the spoils in Kansas.
That result and Vancouver's victory meant the pressure remained on Real Salt Lake in the final playoff place in the West before the visit of Portland, who began just 2 points above them. The Timbers hadn't won on the road since June, taking 2 points from 6 games outside of Oregon since then, but went in front just past the half hour here. Sebastian Blanco's ball in turned home by Jeremy Ebabise. The second MLS goal of the season for the striker, making just a 4th start of the campaign with Samuel Armenteros missing through illness. 10 minutes into the second half and RSL were level, thanks to this fine finish from the in-form Jefferson Savarino. A 4th goal in the Venezuelans' last 6 league games. Blanco then took centre stage, adding to his earlier assist with a game-changing goal. His 8th of the season was beautifully taken and put Portland back in charge going into the last 20 minutes. Just 3 minutes later, he was at it again, and Real Salt Lake was sentenced to a first home MLS defeat in 15 matches. A well-worked move was completed by another brilliant finish from Blanco. The side en route to their biggest away win for 3 years. The Timbers weren't finished there, given a helping hand by Nick Beasler's careless throw, as Lucas Milano helped himself to his first goal since returning to the club in the summer. At least Portland 1 win away from securing their playoff place. RSL's fate remains in their own hands, but after 4 games without a win, there's no more margin for error.
Hoping to reignite his season, Seattle's Will Bruin, who started just his 2nd game since July against former club Houston. And as can so often be the case when strikers face one-time employers, they remind them of their qualities. Bruin, who netted 50 regular season goals for the Dynamo, rifling home his 7th of the term for the Sounders and showing no signs of not celebrating. And speaking of players with a point to prove, Christian Roldan was left out of the latest USA squad. His strike to make it 2-0, a timely prompt to the national team selectors. Brian Schmetz's team powered to the brink of a playoff place, courtesy of a double from Victor Rodriguez. The first came after a clever dummy from Bruin. The second, the culmination of a sweeping attack that saw the Spaniards start and finish the move after astute contributions from both Ozzy Alonso and Handwala Buana. The Dynamo didn't throw the towel in completely. Hero of their US Open Cup win, Mauro Manotas, hit the post to give Schmetzer something to think about. Before DeMarcus Beasley's cross caused havoc, Eric Bird's shot bravely blocked on the line by Nuhu Tolo. The visitors' late pressure eventually earned them a consolation. Beasley's first of the season, doing little to alter the destination of the points, but it did deny Stephen Fry a clean sheet.
Having lost to Chicago on their travels last week, LAFC were back on the road with a visit to lowly Colorado, knowing a win would secure their place in the playoffs. And they were on their way just 15 minutes in when Walker Zimmerman headed home a corner. It was the centre-back's third MLS goal of the season, and they've all come in the last 3 matches. The lead was doubled before the break in what proved a one-sided affair. Lee Wynn played in Adama Diomande to score his first goal since early July, finished emphatically. He's the third LAFC player to reach double figures this season. A 7th straight defeat for the Rapids was confirmed in the second half. A double for Diomande to end his recent drought in style. And a comfortable win for LAFC, which takes them to 53 points. Only 3 short now of the record for an expansion side, set by Bob Bradley's MLS Cup-winning Chicago 20 years ago.
In Frisco, top of the West took on bottom of the East. Surely an easy steer for Dallas at home to Orlando. Without a win since July, the Lions were under pressure immediately. Dominic Badji only denied his first home goal at Toyota Stadium by the crossbar. Orlando's luck has rarely been in all season, so it was no surprise to see the frame of the goal at the other end denied the visitors. Mohamed El Munir rattling the post with a fierce shot. Little has gone right for James O'Connor since taking over, but there can have been few excuses for the wide-open spaces in Orlando's defence just past the hour when Dallas attacked at pace. Santiago Mosquera, who'd only been on the pitch for 7 minutes, expertly converting for his 5th goal in his last 6 games. The Colombian was then first to lead the support for injured teammate Christian Coleman, who suffered a season-ending cruciate ligament injury in training earlier in the week. A second Dallas goal came soon after. Maxi Urruti with an 11th assist of the term. Victor Ajoa's glancing header, his first goal for over 2 years, that sealed the success for Oscar Pareja's men.
Still to come, we're at Audi Field to see if the Chicago Fire could spoil DC United's playoff ambitions.
Fasten your seatbelts. This is what it's all about.
What an absolute banger! That's a goal! That's a goal! No! That's not a goal! It's a golazo!
It was the first of 2 meetings this month between DC and the Chicago Fire. Your commentators are David Prutton and Dan Roebuck.
This is Lucho Acosta. He wants to find Wayne Rooney. Rooney! Brilliant play. DC have the advantage, and it's the Lucharu combination again. Well, the goal is being reviewed. Let's see what Ismail El-Fath does here. Boos and whistles from the DC support because Ismail El-Fath has ruled this one out because of the coming together of Acosta. And was it Kaplov that went down? Well, whoever it was, that's why the goal has been disallowed. Oh, that's poor play, and suddenly there's an opportunity for Segura. Rooney wants it, Segura must score, he's hit the crossbar! How on earth did he not put that in the net, or indeed square for Wayne Rooney? He was just a couple of yards out after Schweinsteiger's mistake. Katai shows good strength here. There's plenty to aim at. Still Katai looking to come forward. Can he pull the trigger? This is Edwards. Real options here. Still going, still going! Brilliantly done! Chicago Fire stun DC here.
Exactly what this game's been crying out for. That little bit of quality, that little bit of composure. Comes from a wonderful driving run by Katai. Just when they up the tempo, they bring some energy into the game, which is what we've been hoping for in the second half.
Oriola rides one challenge, does get the shot in. Rooney will have another goal! 1-1.
Well, they look towards the assistant on the far side. It ricocheted back towards him. A feather touch saw the keeper make the save, but on the rebound, the former England captain does indeed find the net. It is 1-1.
It's a wonderful first touch. Good save by Cleveland, but the reaction again from Wayne Rooney doesn't switch off. He's deserved it, really. He's been the main focal point. He's been the man that's tried to make the most things happen for DC.
Touch isn't quite good enough, and the flag has stayed down, and Rooney is on the move here. This is Wayne Rooney for 2-1. Oh, he's put it wide! Wayne Rooney with the opportunity to put DC in front. They can only curl it wide of the post after the mistake again from Schweinsteiger. Acosta to shimmy forward. Rooney with a layoff, still going. Well, there's a penalty here. It's Moreno's been brought down, and DC United have an opportunity from the spot to nudge in front.
The reason the referee was so quick to get over to point to the spot was decision was made very straightforward for him.
DC for 2-1. Wayne Rooney finds the net. DC United lead by 2-1, and a crucial converted penalty in DC's MLS campaign. They are inching closer towards the playoffs in the Eastern Conference.
We just have to keep pushing, and we have another most important game of the season next weekend. I don't think we had the greatest performance today, but there is a belief in the group that on days like this that we can still get 3 points, and that's extremely important. And that was something I think we lacked earlier in the year.
The team DC are pushing to overhaul the Montreal Impact, who fell to defeat in Washington last week. They needed to respond on Saturday against the Columbus Crew, who knew a win would confirm their own place in the postseason. The first major moment came half an hour in. Montreal appealing for a penalty, believing Josh Williams had handled Alejandro Silva's cross. Referee Alan Kelly eventually gave it on video review. Up steps Safir Taider to send Zach Steffen the wrong way from the spot and score his 7th of the season. The Crew haven't won away since July, taking just 2 points on their travel since then. They fashioned a fine chance to equalise here 10 minutes before half-time. Pedro Santos picking out top scorer Yassi Zardes, but Evan Bush was right behind the header. Montreal took full advantage, as it was they who scored the game's second goal just a minute before the break. A strong run and clinical finish from Silva, scoring for the 4th time in his last 6 games. The points were secured for the Impact by their leading scorer Ignacio Piatti just before the hour. His 14th MLS goal of the season made it 3-0, ensuring they remain in the top 6 even if their fate is not their own. Montreal fighting back with 2 rounds remaining before the final bell tolls.
The Impact's success meant the Philadelphia Union needed a win to make the playoffs, with Minnesota United facing Jim Curtin's side at Talon Energy Stadium. A battling draw at the Columbus Crew last time was enough to keep the Union's fate in their own hands. Keen to maintain that momentum, the hosts struck early. Corey Burke with a characteristically muscular strike to open the scoring 8 minutes in. The Union have shaken off US Open Cup final disappointment impressively and looked in total control against the Loons. Alejandro Bedoya made it 2-0 from close range. And there was just a quarter of the fixture gone when the Union registered a third. Fafa Pico's effort had just enough power to beat Bobby Shuttleworth. And the New Yorker celebrated his recall to the national team squad by netting a second, expertly curling into the net as Minnesota were made to dance to the Union's tune. The second half was much more competitive. Adrian Heath's side pulled a goal back 9 minutes after the restart. Darwin Quintero's shot, too hot for Andre Blake to handle. However, Philly's 4-goal cushion was restored in spectacular fashion. Ilsinho's remarkable hit from 30 yards, rocketing into the corner to give the Union their biggest MLS win of the campaign and punch their ticket to the postseason party.
After last week's defeat at the Red Bulls, Atlanta United held just a 1-point lead in the race for the Supporters' Shield. The first of their 3 remaining games was at home to a New England side whose playoff hopes are fading fast, and looked to have taken another blow just 68 seconds in when the league's leading scorer Joseph Martinez turned home what he briefly thought was his 50th MLS goal. This one was disallowed though for an offside against George Bello in the build-up. 3 games without a goal now for Martinez is his longest such drought since joining the club. Instead, it was left to Bello himself to take centre stage and open the scoring on 17 minutes. Quite a moment for the 16-year-old homegrown player, becoming the 6th youngest in history to score an MLS goal. It was only his 2nd start for the club. It wasn't all good news for Atlanta though, as they lost key player Miguel Almiron on the half hour with a hamstring injury, a major concern ahead of the playoffs, just as happened last year. The Five Stripes haven't lost at home since May and went a long way towards securing their 3rd straight win at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and Tito Villalba played in Julian Gressel to make it 2-0 early in the second half. A goal in back-to-back home games for the German, and his 4th of the season. The leaders were denied another clean sheet in front of their own fans when Juan Agudelo pulled one back for the Revs in added time, but his first goal for 2 months came too late to be anything other than a consolation.
Bradley Wright-Phillips was back after a ban for the Red Bulls as they faced a Quake side featuring record-chasing Chris Wondolowski, hoping to give interim coach Steve Ralston something to smile about in San Jose. Only a win would keep Chris Armis's team on the coattails of Atlanta in the race for the Supporters' Shield. Only the crossbar denied Derek Etienne. But the early pressure on the team with the worst record in MLS in 2018 told when JT Marcinkowski could only push Michael Murillo's shot into the path of Alex Muil, who slid into score. 3 minutes later, the Red Bulls doubled their lead. Mark Sharkovsky's free kick was headed onto the post by Wright-Phillips, who showed a real striker's instinct to thrash home the rebound. The second half started with the visitors scoring from another set piece. Tim Parker's flick guided in off the bar by Aaron Long. The only ray of sunshine in a dreary season for the Quakes could be Wondolowski breaking the MLS goal-scoring record. He should have inched one closer after being played in by Jackson Yuill, but failed to find the target. However, he did net his 144th goal, one shy of the mark held by Landon Donovan, by heading home a late consolation for the Quakes, who succumbed to their 20th loss of the campaign.
The big news in the East is that Toronto's title defence officially ended with that defeat at home to Vancouver. The Philadelphia Union, though, have confirmed their place in the postseason for a 2nd time in 3 years.
LAFC in their debut season have booked their spot in the playoffs. Portland and Seattle look set to join them, and then it's a 3-way battle between RSL, the Galaxy and the Whitecaps for that remaining position.
The 6th youngest goal scorer ever in MLS. We leave you with Atlanta's homegrown 16-year-old George Bello.
That's history in the making for Atlanta United.
It's amazing. I don't think it has settled down in me yet, but in a few hours I'm probably going to be going crazy.
This copyrighted telecast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.